Hi, everyone. Welcome to Differentiate and Expand Your Coaching Business. Today, I'm going to share with you the 10 core drivers that I use that help others to expand and extend their business. So I'm going to help you by sharing those 10 core drivers with you. But more importantly, is I'm going to help you understand how the Productivity Accelerator system can not only help your business in terms of understanding the 10 core drivers, but how you can use the system with your customers to help and expand their businesses. And so together, your businesses are going to expand. So this is me and my kids. My name is Penny Zenker, and I'm a strategic business coach. But first and foremost, I'm a mom, and I have these two wonderful children, Sydney and Ethan. They're 10 and 12, and they are the light of my life. They motivate me. They create the leverage that I need to create a greater impact in this world. And for them, and for those that I'm looking to serve as president of the board of Heart of a Fighter, I'm looking to bring the Productivity Accelerator system, and specifically the assessment, to 1 million people over the next 3 to 5 years. And you might be somebody who is inspired by that to make a donation to Heart of a Fighter, which is a organization that's dedicated to helping women veterans to transition from military to civilian life, and also to be a part of making a greater impact for people to be able to think and act more strategically, and as a result, live happier lives, live more productive lives, and more successful lives. So that's what I'm all about, and I'm excited to have you here and talk about how this can impact you. So the Productivity Zone, Stop the Tug of War with Time, is my best-selling book that came out in 2015 that really accumulates all of the experience that I've had over the years. From me having my own technology company that I built up in 1996 to a multi-million-dollar business and sold to a public company. You can imagine all the experience that I learned hands-on, things to do and things not to do, as I was building my business and as I was preparing it for sale and selling the company. And then after I left that, and I went on to be an executive at an international company, which is a market research company. It was number 5 in the world. And I was living in Zurich, Switzerland at the time, and I was responsible for strategic projects. And my job really was to help the company to be more productive overall by creating these strategic projects, which would be multipliers that would help the company to really advance its leadership in the marketplace. And that's what we did. Can't go into that in detail right now, but it's all that experience that I had from there that comes into this concept of the productivity zone and how it's implemented. After I left that organization, because I wanted to spend more time with my kids, I loved building businesses, and I found the best way for me to do that and have the balance with my family was to be a coach. So I teamed up and worked with Tony Robbins' Business Breakthrough organization for about 6 years, working with companies all over the world, helping them to be more productive and more profitable in their business. And all of that experience really came into the simplification of this framework and also these 10 core drivers that we're going to talk about in a short while. Also, I love working with people. Workshops started to come more frequently, and I became an international speaker, speaking all over the world with lots of large organizations, and whether they be corporate or associations. And also I work with smaller organizations as well. Just love getting out there and talking to people. And as I said, this is my best-selling book, and looking to come up with another one next year. So let's just make sure you're on the right webinar. I want people who want to grow their business. So if you're somebody who's really okay with where you are right now, you're not really looking to take on anything in addition, you don't want to bring on new clients, you don't want to make a bigger impact, with a larger number of people, then this probably isn't going to be the right opportunity for you. If you're just starting your business, even though I would love to help you and there could be an opportunity there, what I'm really looking for is people who have an established business, probably been in business for about 2 years as a coach, and a business coach at that, really looking to help companies grow their businesses. And you've kind of found yourself at a plateau. You're not really sure how to differentiate yourself. Maybe you're stuck, and you're not really acquiring new customers, you're not sure how to get new leads, then this is the right webinar for you, because I have something and a system that's really going to help you to grow and develop your business, and is going to help your clients to grow and develop their business. So it's a total win-win. So here are today's points of discussion. I want to help you think about and look at how you can increase the rates that you're charging today so that you can get more for the time that you're actually spending with individual clients. I want to help you to generate more leads so that you can have a plethora of new leads that are coming in through a funnel and being able to convert those leads into more clients. I want to help you to create a market differentiation so that you can clearly communicate why you're different, and also be able to use that differentiation to stand out in the marketplace. I want you to be able to extend your existing contracts so that whatever you're working with people now, whether it's 6 months or a year, that you can extend that to another year or another 2 years by bringing them additional value. I want to help you to reactivate old clients who have worked with you in the past and are just waiting for something new. And lastly, I'm going to be offering an extensive resource pool for you so that you can enhance all of these different areas and really be more productive and more profitable in your business. So if that sounds good to you, then keep listening. We know that there's a funnel system when we want to generate leads, and you need more leads. If you want more clients, you need more leads. So one of the things that my system is going to help you to do, you as your business coach, is going to help you to bring in more leads so that those leads can be properly qualified and then turn them into customers. And I'm going to help you with that entire lead generation process by providing you with the tools. So an assessment that you're going to be able to bring people in to interest them in an assessment. At that point, there's a free version that you can give them, or some other kind of worksheet that I have available. That then you have a follow-up session with them, and that appointment is where you qualify them and then you convert them into customers. And I'm going to help you with all the emails that help to keep somebody in the pipeline. I'm going to help you with the forms and the qualification. I'm going to help you with the sales training and how to convert, and also provide you with packages that are going to make it easier for you to sell. Differentiation. That's another thing that is so key for you as a coach and also for your clients. I've worked with many coaches to help them to grow their businesses, and one of the things that I find is most difficult is how they choose to stand apart. Most of the time they'll tell me what they feel their differentiation is, and quite frankly, it's not good enough. And we have to really work on that point, is how to create a unique offering, a unique positioning for them so that they can clearly communicate it, and that it will help them to demonstrate the expertise by the system that they're using, or the method of how they're bringing it to the marketplace. And what's great about this system is it does all of that, plus something that most systems don't do, which is to help to monitor and to track it. So that differentiation is also being able to create quantitative results. And that's important because, you know, there's a lot of qualitative results that come out of it, but how do you quantify them? And so this is a way that's going to help you as a coach to demonstrate to others what value you're providing by saying, I help to take somebody from 40% to 80%. That's pretty important, because then people have a basis to work from. To take it into a context of how your other customers might be talking. So if I'm talking to customers, I ask them, what's the differentiation? And customer service, we have the best customer service. Well, you know, everybody says that. Everybody says that. So unless you have a way that distinguishes your customer service, that makes your approach different, and you can clearly communicate that, then you have an asset and a differentiation. Otherwise, you've got nothing. It's just a word and it doesn't mean anything. So you need to consider that. And that's why, you know, I'm giving you, as part of this system, I'm giving you a unique offering and approach, an assessment, a productivity assessment that really doesn't exist on the marketplace. There's plenty of personality assessments, but there's nothing to assess people's productivity, especially since your personal productivity can be somewhat subjective. So this is taking something that's somewhat subjective and making it quantitative, making it something that you can measure and that you can track and that you can work on, and provide people with greater clarity and awareness around it. So it's a clear differentiation for you. I'm going to help you to extend and reactivate your customers. So what that means is that you can take a customer that, what's your average customer length? Maybe 6 months, a year? Well, you can take that and you can extend it wherever it is now, because you have something new to offer. You're adding more value. You have a new approach, a new way of looking at things for them. You're going to help them to enhance accountability. And so they're going to extend their time working with you. Might mean another year's project. And that's important. That's of great value to you. And what about all the clients that you've had over the years that aren't working with you anymore? They're inactive. Wouldn't it be great if you could reactivate a certain percentage of those? A client who was an electrical engineer, and he has 3,000 inactive clients. And his average spend with the client would spend with him $2,000 for each visit. So think about it, that each project that he had with any of these customers would be an average of $2,000. If we took 10% and reactivated 10% of that 3,000 inactive customers, what kind of value would that bring to his business? $600,000. That's a lot. So look at what you've got in terms of business that could be reactivated. So even if you don't decide to work with me, this is one of the low-hanging fruit areas that I look at immediately. If you create an impactful campaign to show incredible value, you're going to reactivate a certain percentage of those people because they already have a relationship with you. And that's exciting. And I can tell you that working with me and using the P10 productivity assessment and system, that's going to help you reactivate a pretty large percentage of those people, because you're able to give them a high level of value from it. I'm also going to help you to increase your rates. So because of the differentiation, that's going to enable you to show value and be able to increase your rates because you're coming at it from a different approach. You've got a system that you're using that helps you to elevate your rates because you can quantifiably show the results. You're adding more value, you've got measurable results, and at the end of the day, it increases the confidence that you have in just asking for it. Because half the time, it's simply how you feel about asking for higher rates that enables you to increase your rates. I have worked with a number of coaches, and one of the first things that we did to help them on a cash flow basis was to immediately increase their rates. And we went through all of these areas to help to make sure that they felt good about it and they had an easy way to communicate why they were worth it. And you know what happened? They got it. The value of a system. We already talked about it briefly, so I'm just going to say, when you have a system for yourself or for your clients, it saves yourself stress, time, energy, and money. It's going to help you prepare for your meetings faster because it's going to give you a structure within to prepare. It's also going to increase the money that you're earning, right? And you're going to be more excited about doing it because the people who are working with you have a greater clarity and also have a system to follow. It gives them greater security of the process that you're working through. So systems sell faster, so they'll help you to sell the system faster. It'll help you to create leads quicker, and it'll help you to close the deals and keep the deals longer. So I offer different types of programming and packaging options. So because it's 10 core drivers that we're going to be talking about, you can do a 12-day intensive, you can do 12 weeks, you can do 12 months, and those are just suggested. I give you suggested packages with suggested pricing just to help you to see what's possible. What am I getting? What are others getting? And also, what could the structure of that 12-day or 12-week or 12-month look like? And you can use that, or you can use any variation of it, because really they're your tools in your toolkit and you can more or less use them as you choose. So let's talk about, what is this, the productivity zone and these 10 core drivers. What are they, and how are you going to help your clients to use these? And how can you use these yourself? So in my book, the best-selling book, The Productivity Zone, Stop the Tug of War with Time, I use something that I call a productivity curve. And it's to help people understand where efficient and effective meet. I know this looks like a bell curve, so just ignore that. It's no standard deviation or anything like that. It's just a picture. to give us the two axes and have us understand that the 10 core drivers meet where efficient and effective come together. It's where they're balanced. Because if you're effective and not efficient, well, then you're over-functioning. And if you're efficient but not effective, then you're under-functioning. Got it? So when we're not in the zone, then we're outside of the zone. And as I said, under-functioning or over-functioning, but what does that mean exactly? What does it create? It creates stress. It creates stress, and then we get into this endless cycle of stress because stress begets stress. It's kind of like, when they talk about, digging a hole, what's the best thing to do to get out of the hole? Well, you got to stop digging. Well, when we're stressed, we lose access to our executive function and we go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. And what happens is that the very means of being in that mode keeps us digging. So that's why we need these 10 core drivers to build awareness and resiliency so that we can quickly recognize the stress, use the drivers so that we can get back into the zone and stay in the zone. Does that make sense? Because sure, we're going to fall into some sort of stress here and there. The question is how long we stay there. So using the 10 core drivers are going to help you in your business as well as your clients to be able to transform stress from unproductive energy into productive energy. So what does the productivity zone provide us? First and foremost, it provides us with a common language. There are 10 core drivers that define our productivity, and now you can use this common language and framework with your client so that they can better understand them. Even though they're kind of intertwined in the way they actually function, we've taken them apart so you can have a discussion around them and that they can use this common language in working with their team as well. So it's not only for individual use, it's also extremely beneficial to use in conjunction with teams, because then the team can use that as an open communication. It takes stress out of the discussion because it's part of a framework. And it also enables the team to come together and come up with actions that are going to benefit the entire team in each of these structured areas. And the reason a common language is important is also because everybody might have a different definition for productivity. I did a talk show that for 2 years, and not a single guest on the show gave me the same definition for productivity. So it is important that everybody is talking about the same thing. When you have a problem, you have to identify the problem that everybody agrees that that's what the problem is. So that's the first stage, is coming up with a common language. And what this helps us to do, these 10 core drivers, is to balance the what and the how. So a lot of times when we think about, time management, people are telling us what we should do with our time, and then that's going to make the biggest difference when you do this. Well, the what is logical, and very often we know what to do, but we don't do it. You know it's true. I mean, that's why you have a job in coaching, because people sometimes know what to do, but they don't do it. So really, it comes down to how. The how is emotional. So it's the emotional aspects that often keep us from doing what we know. So it's, again, how to create that resiliency to get out of stress, to keep us in a proactive, positive state that's going to help us to balance the way that what we do with our time and how we show up for that time. There are 3 segments for success: psychology, strategy, and sustainability. And we have to have all 3 in order for us to really be productive, because any one of these can throw us off, right? If we get success, but we don't make it sustainable, well, that's not really what we're looking for. That's not long-term success. If we have great strategies, but we don't have the psychology either individually or as a team, which could be called culture, then we're also not going to get the results that we want. So it's really balancing these 3, is having the psychology, strategy, and the sustainability, and they build off of one another. So championship psychology, right? What are the aspects of psychology? A lot of people tell you have to have a good mindset, and they talk about different things, but what really are the components? So the components are motivation, understanding the key aspects of what motivates us and how to motivate yourself and others. Self-talk. What is it that's holding us back? in terms of the language and the words and the questions that we're asking ourselves and others? And focus. Where are we getting distracted? What are the aspects of focus that really keep us on task strategically and in the moment? And how are we managing our self-care and our physiology in order to really impact, whether it's sleep or the food that we eat, the breaks that we take to manage our energy, all of these things impact how we show up for the time that we have. The next segment is winning strategies. This is where we create leverage, right? This is where we come up with the approaches that are going to help us to take our business to the next level. And they are represented through planning, process, and prioritization. So in terms of planning, we need to be able to plan our strategies. So that's long-term planning as well as short-term planning, strategic planning as well as operational planning. And all of it needs dedicated time, because without dedicated time, then it won't happen. Funny enough that actually, I think the last percentage I saw was that 83% of small to medium businesses do not have a business plan and do not have a marketing plan. So whenever we're looking at accomplishing something and we don't have a plan, it creates overwhelm, because that comes from a lack of planning, a lack of understanding that it will get done, a lack of being able to know that there's a time allocated for it. So there's a little bit of inherent stress associated with making that happen. So planning is absolutely critical. Planning for capacity as well, because when you're talking about projects that require multiple different levels of resources, this planning is essential. Process. Process is a real multiplier. It helps us because we are creating standards. It gives us organization so that we can also communicate the process effectively. That's going to help us with delegation. It's going to help us with bringing on new staff and new hires. And creating that systemization is going to increase our productivity and in many cases reduce our costs, which will help us to increase our profits. So it's creating habits around processing things, about the way we process, about documenting processes and optimizing processes. So that's a really key area to create that leverage. And quite frankly, it's an area where a lot of businesses, when they're caught up in the weeds in the day-to-day reactive mode, they don't take the time for these important elements that are necessary to take their business to the next level. Prioritize. This is a key one, is understanding the difference between urgent and important. How do we, so many people talk about competing priorities and not feeling stuck and overwhelmed just because they have so many competing priorities. Maybe they have multiple bosses or multiple projects that are going on, and of course everything feels urgent. So we need to understand an awareness of what's really urgent and be able to ask better questions so that we can identify and separate the things that are really urgent from the things that are not urgent, and then also make sure that we're prioritizing what's important, what's creating leverage and growth for our business. Because just because it's urgent doesn't mean that it's important. So often you can find things that are urgent that can be delegated to others because they're not important. As I said, it becomes the multiplier. You want to focus on where the multiplier is. So that comes into play of understanding, what the drivers of your business really are. Delegation, automation, elimination. Sorry, I forgot an E there. Those things are absolutely critical when we're looking to prioritize and where we're going to focus our time. We need to be able to see, well, what needs to be delegated, automated, and eliminated, and really work on making those happen. And that goes back to the process and the planning aspects and how these are all interrelated. Then when we talk about sustainability, right, this is our growth mindset. We don't just want to have one blip up and have some success and then fall back to where we were before. So we're looking at progress, measurement, and proactivity. So progress. We need to recognize the milestones and celebrate as we go along, because that creates traction for us. That the more that we can show that we've accomplished, the more that it drives us. It's actually reacts with a chemical reaction in our brain that releases dopamine that wants us to have more of that. So then we continue to go after that. We need to be able to take away what we've learned and use that to grow and implement in our processes going forward and in our approaches. because as I said, that creates momentum. We want to be able to celebrate and pat somebody on the back when they did a good job, including yourself. Measurement. Measurement helps us to enhance accountability, to make sure that there's more attention that's brought to the things that we want people to be accountable for. We also help to increase the focus so that those things are in the forefront by measuring the right things that are going to drive our business and then being able to adapt and correct as necessary. People pay attention to what's being measured, yourself included. And that's why we have this whole system to measure your productivity for you and for your clients, so that you can use this as a means to hold you accountable of those things that are driving your productivity and your profits. And lastly, number 10, we have proactivity. We want to model best practices. We want to stay ahead of the curve and create habits that are future oriented. We want to be able to control our environment and anticipate distractions and innovations, changes that are happening in the marketplace, changes that are happening with our customer base. We need to be on top of that so that we can stay ahead of the curve. Otherwise, it's very easy for us to lose market share or that edge that we might have in our market because we're not staying ahead of the curve. So all of this comes together in an assessment. It's a self-assessment, so it allows you and your clients to work together for them to analyze and rate themselves on a scale from 1 to 10 where they are in each of the 10 core drivers. And the system will show you, based on what your ratings were, where you rank in terms of your psychology, your strategies, and your sustainability. It also gives you a dashboard because this is not just a one-time assessment. This is something that you're going to help condition your customers to thinking and acting more strategically. So they're going to come back and take this before each and every session that you have together. That's going to keep them aligned and conditioned to these 10 core drivers. And at the same time, it's going to give you a basis for discussion and your focal point and the actions that you're going to talk about for that upcoming session. Now, it's completely possible that you may have a different agenda and might not want to follow these core drivers within the session itself. And that's totally fine. You can use it as a measurability for how the other actions and initiatives that you are working on your client with are then turning into results. Because at the end of the day, remember, these are measuring how they feel about their productivity, and their profitability is going to show. You're going to help them to reinforce the value that you're creating out of this coaching. And that in itself is going to help you to extend the length of your engagement. And it's also going to enhance your referral possibilities because they're going to see real measurable results in how they feel, and also at the end of the day, at the bottom line for their business. So this assessment is a great support to you. And in and of itself, it's going to help you to, as we said, draw in the leads, keep people longer, be able to charge greater rates, and really have a rich set of tools that are available to you to work with your customers. Included in the assessment, especially as you get to work with teams and entire departments and companies, is they have their profile. There's a gaming where they get badges. They can have buddies, and buddies can like their give them some thumbs up, and can also pass out gifts for saying, hey, great job. So there's lots of possibilities within the system. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. This is where you bring your expertise and your customization and your gifts so that you can coach them around these 10 core drivers and how they use them. Because they're still at a very high level, you can use your skills to dig down into each of them, either with your own expertise and experience, or you can use a lot of the worksheets and workshops that I provide you so that you can help to get them progress in any one of those areas if you don't have that expertise. So why is this assessment valuable for your clients? Just to recap, it's going to identify their strengths and weaknesses, both for them and for you. It's going to help to identify where those gaps are and give them real clarity. I've heard so many people say, wow, this was such a huge eye-opener, and the clarity that it brought them was invaluable. It's going to help them, as we said, to think and act more strategically. It's going to give them that dedicated time and the structure to be able to maintain perspective and think about what and where are they really working on their business. And I mean on their business, not in their business, right? How are they actually strategically looking at growing their business. It's going to condition those productivity drivers and the behaviors around them. It's going to give them the ability to track and to measure and to discuss and adapt either with you as their coach or with their team, which is even more important as we get to a company level. It's going to help to enhance their accountability. And as we said, it's going to give them that common language and framework to work within. So huge, huge value to you as a coach and to your customers. So I also offer a lot more tools. This is where it gets even more exciting. I have a time blocking system that has 7 steps. It's an online training program that you can go through and you can coach this to your customers, or you can have them go through it and then, help them to implement it. That's up to you how you want to implement these. I also give you access to my communication and negotiation fundamentals. These are going to help you when you're working with people in the area of sales and leadership. Then I have, in terms of marketing, education-based marketing that I worked with Chet Holmes and Tony Robbins and implemented this in many, many companies. This is how you use statistics and education in order to help you to shorten the sales cycle and to close people faster. So this is a residential home security company, just so that you can understand how education-based marketing works. So to get their attention, you talk about the statistics such as a burglary takes place in the US every 8 seconds. That's global, but at the same time, it creates a little bit of tension and makes them think. Then you get them to buy faster by saying, well, making it closer to home. 1 out of every 6 homes are going to be burglarized. When I look out the street, that means it's me or one of my neighbors. That starts to get me a little anxious and create some pressure. And then if you want to get them to buy more, you talk about maybe 1 every 5 homes is going to have a burglary, fire, or carbon monoxide poisoning over the next 6 years. So now you're thinking about other things that you need to protect your home with, such as fire and carbon monoxide. It gets people thinking, it gets people engaged, it creates credibility for you and your business and why they want to work with you. I also have a system that helps people to understand how to better present with impact. So if you're working with leaders or people who need to present in front of large groups or even small groups, these 9 fundamentals are going to help you interact with sales teams, leaders, and also account managers who sometimes have to go into a presentation but aren't directly doing the sales. These 9 fundamentals are really going to help them in order to gain more confidence and to speak in a way that's going to create impact in those times that they do have to present. And then I've got a whole host of other resources and templates that I'm sharing my experience and expertise through, whether it's business and marketing plans, sales process and tracking sheets, process optimization, meeting optimization, a business growth plan, internet site reviews, innovation workshops, and so much more. I've spent the last 10 years creating these resources or accumulating them and working with them and massaging them and simplifying them and using them with my clients, and I am so happy to share them with you as part of this program. So again, let's quickly recap what these benefits are for you as a coach. It's going to help you increase your rates. More money today. That's cash flow in the pocket now. Generate more leads. It's going to help you get more people into your funnel, and at the end of the day, that's going to be more customers. More customers equals more money and equals greater impact. We're going to help you with this get a greater market differentiation to really clearly differentiate yourself in the market so that people will seek you out because you are the expert in this space and you have something that others don't, and that you have a system that's going to support them and give them clarity as to how they're going to get the result that they want. The system is going to help you extend your existing contracts. It's going to help you to reactivate old clients, and it's going to give you access to an extensive resource pool that's going to reduce the hours that you're spending preparing and creating these things yourself. And importantly, it's going to increase the value that you're providing to your customers because you can immediately provide it to them. And by filling in these workshops and worksheets, it's going to help them get greater clarity and get the results that they're looking for. So do you want to be one of those success stories? Do you want to be a P10 certified coach and take advantage of all those opportunities? Well, if you do, go ahead and schedule your call now. If you haven't already done so, schedule your call now. Go ahead and under this presentation, you're going to scroll down and click the button that says Book Session with Penny. It's going to then bring you up into my calendar where you can pick a time that's going to work for us both. And then we can talk about if you're a good fit, if you qualify for the program, and also talk about timing and how it works. So the 3 things that I want you to be aware of is this isn't guaranteed. You have to complete an application, and I want you to be qualified. I'm only going to take you into the program if it's really a good fit. That means you've been in business for a couple of years. It means that you've got a decent client base already, and you have some existing clients that we could capitalize off of to reactivate. It means that you're ready to take your business to the next level, and you're willing to commit time and money in order to make this happen. Now, I'm only choosing 10 people. So you need to know that, is that this month I'm only choosing 10 people to be part of this program. And so if you want that to be you, then you need to reach out as soon as possible and get on my calendar, because once the spaces are filled, that's it. And the program starts in March. So, you snooze, you lose. If you want to be part of the program, you got to get moving now. So go ahead and book into my calendar. Again, you can either click the button below or go to p10app.com coaching calendar, and you'll get access to my calendar. Lastly, I just want to share a little story with you about a man who showed up for work every day with a tuna sandwich. And every day he complained about the tuna sandwich. He said, "Oh, not tuna again. I hate tuna. Are you kidding me? Tuna? Ugh." So his buddy finally said to him, "Dude, why don't you ask your wife to make you something else?" He said, "I don't know what you mean." He said, "Turkey, roast beef, something else." He said, "I don't know what you mean. I'm single and I live alone." Don't be that guy. It's up to you. If you're not happy where you are in your business, or that there's another level and you want to get support and be in the right community to make that happen, then you've got to take action. Otherwise, you're going to get the same results that you've always gotten. And you can't really complain about it like this guy with the tuna sandwich, because, well, he made it himself. So you want to change your situation, then you've got to take action. So I look forward to having a meeting with you, and I'll see you on the other side.